Hey guys, Jeff here with Passive Income Unlocked. So if you've watched a lot of the older YouTube videos, or especially if you've read a lot of the content on our blog, you've probably heard me talk a lot about patience. Basically how patient you need to be to grow a site from scratch to get a lot of growth on that site and actually build a successful site. So of course that's one part of the equation, but there's other failure points along the way, and one of those failure points I want to talk about in this video is the amount of content that you need to put on that site. You can't just, let's say, put 10 posts on your site, and let's say they're really high quality posts, but you only publish 10 posts and you set them aside for a year and you're being patient, but expect to succeed at the end of the day. It really takes more than that. Back, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you could publish maybe like 30 posts and you could set those aside and probably see some growth. But these days, you really do need a little bit more than that. So what we like to target is we like to target 100 posts with a new site before we determine whether or not that site is successful. Of course, we like to go a lot higher than that, but that's probably the number that I would aim for if I was building a new site. And you want to build those 100 posts and then give those posts time to rank, at least probably 9 months for the last post that's published. So you might publish those posts over, let's say, 6 months. So by the time that last post is published, you want to give that last post another 9 months to determine whether or not that one was successful. But your first post, of course, would have already had plenty of time to rank from that point in time. So there's a couple reasons why we like to publish 100 posts on a new site before we determine whether or not it's successful. So the first one, and I've used this analogy a lot, especially on the blog, but basically you're throwing darts at a dartboard. So if you throw only 10 darts at a dartboard, your chances of hitting a bullseye are very, very low. If you throw 100 darts, your chances are much, much higher. And basically what you're doing is, if you're publishing 100 articles, you're throwing a lot of darts at a dartboard, and you want to hit on a few of those. What you really want to have happen is you want Google to rank at least a handful of those posts and start to see some user engagement so they can judge whether or not to trust your site. So that's one reason, because you do need that initial traction. If you only publish a few posts and Google doesn't rank any of them, they can't judge your site and they can't start to grow your traffic. But if you publish a lot more posts, like 100 posts, and they rank a handful of those and they start to see good user engagement, they'll start to rank your other posts accordingly, and you'll start to see some growth. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is kind of similar, but by publishing 100 posts, you can target multiple topics on that site. So let's say that you were only going to publish 10 posts or 20 posts on a site, but you want to target, let's say, 4 topics on that site. So we'll use 20 posts as an example. So if you have 20 posts on a site and you want to target 4 topics, on average, each topic is going to only have 5 posts. That's really not enough to show Google that you are an authority on that particular topic, that you're really knowledgeable about that topic. So by publishing 100 posts instead, let's say you want to publish on 5 topics across those 100 posts, that means on average each topic has about 20 posts. Those 20 posts are going to be enough to show Google, yes, I know what I'm talking about this particular topic, especially when all 5 of those topics are related. So you can kind of look at this the same way as throwing darts at a dartboard, but instead you're throwing like a grouping of darts at a dartboard. So you're throwing darts for topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4, and topic 5. So that's if you have 5 topics that you're targeting with those 100 posts. And in all likelihood, you're going to hit on at least one of those topics where Google's going to see you as an authority, to some extent at least, on that topic. And then you can kind of double down from there. You can go back and see, okay, Google likes me for this particular topic, so I'm going to produce more content on this topic and try to grow that accordingly. So that's the second reason. So again, reason number one, you're throwing 100 individual darts, just taking as many shots as you can to try to hit a bullseye, just so you can get that initial traction from Google, so you can get some feedback for Google. And then number two is so you can target multiple topics with enough content around each topic to show Google that you know what you're talking about. It doesn't have to be 5 topics per 100 words either. It could be maybe 3 topics. Maybe it's going to be 7, somewhere in that range. Probably from 3 to 7. We'll call it 5 on average. That gives you about 20 posts per topic. So when you are aiming for 100 posts versus, let's say, 20 or 30, this can put a lot of people off. Obviously, this can seem really overwhelming. I mean, personally, for me, if I say that I need to publish 100 posts and I know that each of those posts is going to be between, let's say, like 1,000 and 2,000 words, that's definitely going to feel overwhelming for me. But the way that you can get over this for yourself, and this could be a video in itself, but basically you set micro goals. So you don't set your goal to be 100 posts. I mean, yes, that is your goal at the end of the day. That's your big goal, but that's not the goal that you're chasing day to day. So instead, you set either a daily goal or you set a weekly goal, kind of depending on what you're trying to accomplish. So let's say that your goal is to publish two posts per week. So that would be a good goal. That would get you 100 posts published in just under a year. So if that's your goal, then your goal that you are targeting is 2 posts per week. And of course, you can break that down and say, I want to write this many words per day or something like that. Basically, the further you break it down, the easier those goals become and the more likely you are to be able to get started. And really, just getting started with a goal is the main thing. So usually for me at least, if I have some daily goal of doing 5 of this or 3 of this or whatever, just getting started is usually all it takes. And usually I go above and beyond and do more. So if I'm trying to add, let's say I want to add internal links to 3 posts a day or something like that, usually I'll start doing that process on one day and I won't stop at 3, I'll just keep going. So that's usually how it works. But if you have that overwhelming goal of I need to publish 100 posts and it's going to take me a year to publish those posts, it's going to definitely feel overwhelming. So again, just set those micro goals instead. Makes things a lot easier. So again, guys, the goal here, 2 reasons you want to publish 100 posts or more. The more the better in this case. 1, throw individual darts at a dartboard. You have more likely or higher likelihood to hit some bullseyes with some of those posts. And basically, Google can start to see some user interactions on your site. They can start to determine that they can trust you and that you are an authority on that particular topic. And then the reason number 2, of course, very similar, is you can publish on multiple topics on your site to see if Google likes you for 1 or 2 of those topics, and then you can double down from there. And again, you do need to let those articles have time to rank. Ideally, probably about 9 months or so from the last post that's published. That's how much time you would want to give that post to rank. The first post published on your site, of course, will already have plenty of time by the time you publish your 100th post. So guys, that's it for this one. Hope it was helpful. I'm going to try to publish more content like this where it's just kind of covering simple topics, just kind of showing you some behind the scenes on the way we think. So hopefully that helps you guys out. So thanks again for watching, guys, as always, and I will see you in the next one.